Welcome to the Copperfield Electric Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're flipping the switch on a really electrifying topic. The huge growth of electric vehicle EV charging infrastructure around the world.
It's happening incredibly fast.
Yeah. And our mission in this deep dive is to pull out the key insights from the latest forecasts. We're really going to zoom in on home charging and, crucially, what this massive shift means for you, especially if you're listening here in Southern California.
Absolutely. It's a landscape that's, well, changing right before our eyes. And we've got some pretty compelling data from recent forecasts on global EV charging ports.
And we'll connect these sort of big global trends back to what's happening locally, right, with services from a trusted electrical expert right here.
Exactly. Bringing it home, so to speak.
Okay, so let's dive in. The headline number is, well, it's immense. Global EV charging ports projected to hit 206 million by 2040.
Yeah, 206 million. It's almost hard to wrap your head around that scale.
It really is. What's the story behind a number that big? Is it just more plugs everywhere?
Well, it's more than just the number. It really signals a fundamental reshaping of our whole energy system. What's fascinating is this growth represents a 12.3% compound annual growth rate, CAGR, starting from 2026.
Okay, CAGR. So that means it's not just growing, it's accelerating year after year.
Precisely. Consistent, accelerating increase. It's not just adding chargers, it's fundamentally changing how and, importantly, where we fuel our vehicles. We're shifting from the corner gas station to, well, increasingly our own garages.
And speaking of garages, this is where it gets really interesting for, the everyday driver, that huge 206 million number. The really surprising thing is that residential charging, home charging, is expected to be nearly 2/3 of that.
That's right. 133 million out of the 206 million global ports by 2040. It's a huge lean towards home solutions.
Wow. Why is that? Why the home focus?
It really comes down to that trifecta: convenience, affordability, and performance. Level 2 charging specifically is just dominating the home space.
Right. Level 2. Remind us quickly.
Sure. Level 1 is your basic wall outlet, 120 volts. Pretty slow. Level 2 is 240 volts, like your dryer plug.
Yeah.
Much faster. And Emil Koenig over at Wood Mackenzie, he pointed out that level 2 really hits the sweet spot for most EV owners.
Okay.
It gives you that reliability at home, the ease of charging overnight. I mean, think about it. Waking up every single morning with a full tank. No detours, no waiting.
Yeah, that completely changes the daily routine, doesn't it?
It really does.
So for you, the listener, what does this home-centric shift mean practically, like right now?
It means your home, your garage, your driveway, it's becoming central to how you power your car. It's not just plugging something in. Your home is becoming an active part of your transport infrastructure. And it strongly suggests, if you're thinking about an EV, you really need to think about your home's electrical setup too, future-proofing it. Your home's value, even your energy independence, could increasingly be tied to how EV-ready it is.
Okay, that makes sense. But a change this big, it costs money. A lot of money. The investment figures are also pretty eye-popping. Annual spending on charging infrastructure.
Yeah.
Projected to grow 8% every year, hitting $300 billion by 2040.
$300 billion annually.
Who's footing that bill, and where's all that cash going?
Well, it's not just one thing. It's a really diverse investment. It covers everything from those home setups we just talked about to the public stations you see popping up, and also those super fast DC fast chargers.
Right, the ones for road trips.
Exactly, the ones that can give you hundreds of miles of range in under 30 minutes. Which raises a really important question, actually. How will all these different types, home, public, ultra-fast, how will they coexist? How do they complement each other to make it seamless for drivers?
That's a key point, because if almost 2/3 of charging is at home, does public charging become less important? Or maybe its role just changes.
That's exactly the dynamic we're seeing. Home charging is dominant, yes, but public charging is still absolutely vital. Think about people in apartments or for long-distance travel. Sure. And the data shows the ratio of EVs to public chargers is actually set to increase. It goes from about 7.5 EVs per charger in 2025 to 14.2 by 2040.
More cars per charger? Is that good?
It sounds counterintuitive, but yeah, it actually points to better utilization, smarter deployment. Because so much charging happens at home, the public chargers get used more efficiently. Fewer are needed per car because they're supplementing, not the primary source for most.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But reliability's been an issue, right? Finding a public charger that actually
Oh,
works.
definitely. That's been a real pain point. There was a JD Power study citing something like 78% uptime for many chargers, which isn't great.
Not great at all.
But this is improving fast. New federal rules now mandate 97% uptime for any federally funded sites.
Ah, okay.
So what's really interesting is seeing how policy, government policy, is directly pushing for better quality infrastructure, better public trust. They're really trying to iron out those kinks and make public charging reliable.
Good. So we've got the big picture, the money, the home versus public dynamic. Let's take that quick global tour. How are these trends playing out differently around the world?
Yeah, the regional picture is really varied, very compelling. Asia-Pacific, they dominate the global market overall. China is way out front with public charging infrastructure.
Okay.
But keep an eye on India. It's really emerging as a huge growth leader. Their DC fast charging network, specifically forecast to go from just 14,000 ports in 2025 to, get this, 1.1 million by 2040.
Wow. 1.1 million from 14,000. That's incredible growth.
It's massive. Really shows what strong government policy backing EV adoption can do in a developing market.
Makes sense. What about here in the Americas?
Similar strong growth, but maybe a slightly different focus. In the U.S., public fast charging is set to grow about 14% annually. That gets us to around 475,000 ports, generating maybe $3.3 billion in market value by 2040.
Okay.
But then look at South America. There, residential charging is expected to really dominate. We're talking a 22% growth rate, something like $11.2 billion in spending just on home level 2 setups.
So that really highlights that home-first approach again.
Exactly. It emphasizes convenience and cost for the individual user in many regions.
And across the Atlantic. Europe and the Middle East. Similar story.
Europe's also seeing big expansion, often pushed by, ambitious climate goals and strong consumer interest. Public charging there, growing around 11.3% annually. DC fast chargers even faster, 13.7%. And their home charging infrastructure is projected to top 57 million chargers by 2040.
Stay huge on the home front there, too.
Definitely. And then the Middle East, particularly Saudi Arabia, they're ramping up very aggressively, looking at maybe 29% annual growth in public charging as part of their economic diversification. By 2040, the forecast is for the region to spend about $14 billion on public charging and a whopping $30 billion on residential.
$30 billion on residential. Wow.
Yeah.
So a really comprehensive investment across the board there.
Very significant, yeah.
Okay, so it's clear the overall trend is massive growth everywhere, but how it happens, the balance between home and public, the speed that really varies by region. It's not one size fits all.
Precisely. Strategies are tailored, to local needs, population density, government support. But that underlying drive towards electric, it's universal. It's fascinating to see global trends adapt locally.
Okay, let's bring it back home then. Right back to your driveway, especially for our listeners here in Southern California. These global trends, they're hitting home, literally. The U.S. Department of Energy estimates, 70–80% of EV charging already happens at home?
That's the number, yeah. And it's expected to stay that way through 2050. Especially true in suburban areas like much of SoCal, where over 80% of EV drivers already have access to private home charging.
And this is where it gets really game-changing for homeowners, isn't it? It's moving beyond just plugging in.
Absolutely. Smart charging technology is becoming standard. This gives homeowners way more control over their energy use, how they interact with the grid.
Like charging when rates are low.
Exactly. Scheduled charging for off-peak rates, optimizing based on grid demand, and even vehicle-to-grid, V2G, energy sharing.
Okay, V2G. Explain that a bit more.
It means your EV could actually send power back to your house during peak hours or even during an outage, or potentially back to the wider grid. Your home EV setup essentially becomes like a mini energy hub.
So my car becomes a giant battery for my house.
Pretty much. A giant mobile battery. It totally redefines home energy management. It's really interesting stuff.
It is. And look, when you think about making this happen in your own home, you need someone you trust. A local expert.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Copperfield Electric, a name folks in Southern California should definitely know.
Yeah. Copperfield Electric is a family-owned business. They're a 24-hour electrician right here in Orange County.
And they cover a pretty wide area.
They do. They proudly serve Orange County places like Irvine, Anaheim, Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, Mission Viejo, and, all the surrounding areas too. They are perfectly set up to help people navigate this home charging revolution.
What's their specialty in this area?
Well, obviously, EV charger installation for homes and for businesses too.
But it's not always just plug and play, is it? Sometimes your house needs work first.
That's a really important point. Often, yeah, you need foundational work. That's why Copperfield Electric also specializes in critical services like panel upgrades and replacements.
Ah, okay. To handle the extra load safely.
Exactly. Making sure your home's existing electrical system can safely, efficiently handle a level 2 charger. It's about the whole solution, not just sticking a charger on the wall, making sure your home infrastructure is truly ready.
And what really seems to stand out is their focus on, safety and customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
Which is huge when you're talking about electrical work in your home.
Absolutely paramount. And look, they tick all the boxes. They're fully licensed. Their number is 1094740, bonded and insured. Big peace of mind right there.
Definitely.
Plus, they're electricians, all background checked. Another layer of comfort. And they offer 247 emergency services, so if anything goes wrong, day or night, they're there.
That 24/7 service is crucial.
It really is. They're known for being fast, reliable, affordable, but without cutting corners on quality. And they back it up with a 100% satisfaction guarantee and competitive pricing. So for you, as a homeowner thinking about an EV, it means you've got a trusted local expert ready to help you electrify your home confidently.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap our deep dive. The global shift to EVs. It's undeniable. Home charging is clearly leading the way in this huge infrastructure build. Massive investment is pouring in to make charging easy and efficient.
Yeah, and it's transforming everything from our garages into potentially these sophisticated energy hubs, all the way up to global networks.
Which leads to a pretty interesting thought for you, the listener, to maybe mull over.
Yeah, think about this. Beyond just charging your car, how might your actual home evolve? How could it become a more active player in the energy grid, especially as smart charging and V2G become common? What does that mean for your home's value? For your own energy independence, your role in grid stability, when your car isn't just transport, but it's this dynamic part of your home's energy system?
Powerful things to consider, definitely. So, for homeowners listening in the Copperfield electric community, getting a level 2 home charger installed looks like more than just convenience. It seems like a really wise, forward-thinking investment.
Absolutely. It's about getting ready for the future.
And if you are ready to lead the charge, Copperfield Electric can help you stay ahead. From figuring out if you need a panel upgrade to installing the latest smart EV chargers.
They've got the expertise.
So you can contact them today to, power your drive the smart way.